Welcome back to MSME Talk podcast for micro, small, medium enterprise businesses and startups. This is episode number 48 of MSME Talk on Indian toy industry. For better experience, I would suggest you to switch to 1.25x speed, and also don't miss to subscribe at the rate MSME Talk on YouTube, Apple and Spotify.
Hello MSME Talk listeners, I am Swapnil, your today's host, in-house economist and researcher at MSME Talk. Today we are going to explore an industry that I bet everyone loved when they were kids, the toys industry. Toys remind me of days without smartphones, social media and doom scrolling. For me, toys meant racing miniature cars, playing with action figures of Batman and G.I. Joe, and getting lost in board games like Monopoly and Scrabble. Remember Hot Wheels? I craved their cars and stunt tracks, but I never got one because it was and is still very costly. Mattel, the company making Hot Wheels, is an American company, and we have to pay extra to buy it here because of high import duty. Right now, the import duty is as high as 70%. So a 5,000 rupee toy becomes 8,500 rupee one by the time it reaches our nearby stores. This brings us to an important question: why such steep duties, and why hasn't India yet produced a globally renowned toy brand? Let us explore this and more in today's episode. In today's episode, we will cover introduction to toy industry, challenges in India's toy industry, how is Indian government boosting the toy industry, impact of government policies and growing demand, and opportunities for the toy industry. So, let us begin with the introduction. The significance of the toy sector becomes apparent when we understand the global market of toys, which is valued at $109 billion, which is roughly 9.3 lakh crore rupees in revenue. Unsurprisingly, China dominates the market with around an 80% share in the global toy manufacturing market. Global Trade Research Initiative, or GTRI, observed that electronic toys dominate global trade, generating approximately $15 billion in revenue, which is the highest among all categories. Action figures rank second with a $12 billion value, followed by construction toys with $10 billion value. Then these are followed by board games, plush toys, educational toys, and outdoor or sports toys. Now let us talk about Indian industry. India's market share in the global toy industry is barely 3%, a modest $3 billion or more than 25,000 crore rupees. Currently, the toy manufacturers are mostly located in Delhi NCR, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Maharashtra has the largest toy hub, followed by Tamil Nadu. But the toy industry in India is highly unorganized. Only 10% is organized, with players like Fun School, Ace Turtle, Brainsmith, Equus, etc. There are around 4,000 MSME industrial units across the country. That makes the toy sector relevant for MSME Talk listeners too. We have previously heard how unorganized India's textile sector was in one of the previous episodes. When the sector is unorganized, there are numerous challenges ranging from lack of scale, lack of sophistication, product quality, lack of skills and technology, so on and so forth. The toy industry has similar problems. Let us see what challenges the toy industry faces in India. The foremost challenge is that Indian toy makers and businesses rely on China. Out of total toy imports, nearly 90 to 95% of all toys come from China, at least until financial year 2016 or FY16. But from FY19 onward, China's share in Indian toy market started coming down, and it drastically dropped to 64% in FY24 and just 50% in FY25. In a few minutes, I will tell you how we achieved it. Well, despite this, importers find ways to import Chinese products largely because they are cheaper. Imports happen via unauthorized routes such as Vietnam and Cambodia, although in smaller quantities. Importers exploit the gray areas in regulation and bring in unbranded toys in completely knocked down form by paying only 20% import duty. Such producers can get better margins than Indian markets, says 𝐻𝐶𝐻𝐿, executive director of Ariro, which makes wooden toys. Although finished toy imports from China has gone down, businesses still import raw materials from China. Such parts are expensive, and we have to import from various countries, including China. These raw materials include glass eyes for dolls, beads, imitation stones, various types of plastics, electric motors, and remote control apparatus. According to GTRI report, imports of inputs used for making toys are much higher than of finished toys itself. Overall, the raw material costs eat up 50 to 60% of the cost of production, and their prices are higher in India than in China. Now let us see what's stopping toy businesses from expanding in India. While the Indian market is growing, businesses are finding it difficult to expand. Indian market does not offer the volumes required for better economies of scale. Nitin Chabra of Ace Turtle said that they have not yet started manufacturing a private label in India because of the scale. He believes that it will take a year or two to achieve the minimum order quantity. Even within a 13,000 square feet Mumbai store, which they don't have enough variety to fill up the store. Higher share of unorganized sector creates this issue. The problem of scaling is due to multiple factors, and one of them is investment. This problem becomes bigger when we try to make complicated toys like electronic toys. Ajar Agarwal, the president of the Toy Association of India, said that making soft toys, board games, wooden toys, puzzles, and plush toys is possible within India, but electronic toys have just started and will take a year or two to see the results. The market for high value toys, especially electronic ones, is growing. These toys are in huge demand due to rapid urbanization and decline of outdoor play. But producing electronic toys in India is challenging. The main problems being outdated production methods and lack of toy designers in India. Industry experts think that the toy industry must evolve and become far more innovative. But for that, it needs heavy investments in new production techniques. We may feel that this industry will not need much capital investment, but that is not true. Even manufacturing a single product like a dollhouse, which has over 50 different small parts, need investments ranging from 82 lakh rupees to 2 crore rupees. Thus, if a manufacturer wants to make more types of dollhouses or more types of toys, then more investment is needed accordingly. And coming to talent, Fun School's general manager Philip Royappan said that India lacks trained toy designers who can craft globally competitive designs. As India builds its toy industry, toy designing could become a good career option for many young people. Apart from these structural issues, toy industry faces some regulatory challenges too. For example, GST. There is an anomaly in it. Playgrow Toys highlights that toys with minor electronic components, such as lights in dollhouses or music in playsets, are taxed at 18%, making it challenging for manufacturers to offer such advanced products at competitive prices. Industry players are urging the government to harmonize GST for these toys in 12% bracket, which is currently applied to mechanical and manual toys. Similarly, Bharani Woodworks, a wooden toys company, highlights that India does not have FSC certified wood. In many Western countries, wooden toys need FSC certification for ethically produced timber. Therefore, the company imports them and has to compete with cheaper products from Vietnam, Malaysia, and China. Now, let us see how these challenges are being tackled by the government. We have already said that the government has been very proactive in reforming this industry. It increased import duties from 20% to 70% to protect domestic companies. The logic is simple. If imported toys become more expensive, then not many people will buy them. Most of them would turn to cheaper India made toys. This is categorized as a protectionist measure. Such measure is not regarded as the best policy to increase the production. These measures should come along with other policies that improve the quality and experience of the product. The Indian government responded to that also. In January 2021, it announced BIS Quality Control Order. Because of this order, it became difficult for Indian traders and producers to import toys from other countries. With BIS licensing, everyone had to comply with enhanced safety and quality standards that safeguarded children from materials previously found toxic. Whether those were imported or produced within India, all toys must pass those quality checks. The government also implemented a national action plan for toys in 2020 to boost local manufacturing. The plan included setting up production clusters, boosting R&D, integrating toys with education, promoting innovation, upskilling artisans, increasing consumer awareness, and leveraging digital marketing, while also focusing on sustainability and indigenous toy development. One of the objectives of the plan is developing clusters across India. Over 60 toy clusters have been established by Indian government. Under Sfurti, or Scheme of Fund for Regeneration of Traditional Industries, the government has decided to develop 8 new clusters, 3 in Madhya Pradesh, 2 in Rajasthan, and 1 each in Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Standout examples include the 400-acre cluster by Equus in Koppal, Karnataka, and 100-acre cluster in Noida. Koppal will be India's first toy cluster. It will be managed by Equus Infra, spanning 400 acres in the remote northwest of Karnataka. This cluster offers an integrated manufacturing ecosystem. It includes a special economic zone for exports, a domestic tariff area for Indian markets, and a free trade warehousing zone facility. There are plans to create an entire value chain so that it will not only attract domestic players but also foreign ones. It is estimated that it will generate over 25,000 direct and 1 lakh indirect jobs over the next decade. It is expected that this cluster will attract investments of over 4,000 crore rupees. In Noida, the Yamuna Expressway Industrial Development Authority is heading the establishment of a toy park, which has already attracted 134 companies as per media reports. These firms have invested over 400 crore rupees collectively and aimed at creating more than 6,000 permanent jobs. It is situated in a 100-acre area and will cater to the production of stuffed electronic, plastic, and silicone toys, while also encouraging regional artisans into wooden toy manufacturing. This apart, the government has also signed free trade agreements with countries like UAE and Australia, which helped in improving our exports. Now, let us see what has been the impact of government's policies and growing demand for toys in India. As said earlier, the share of Chinese toy imports in total toy imports started coming down from FY19 onwards. From over 90%, it touched 50% in FY25. This shift wasn't by chance. It was due to an increase in import duties from 20% to 70%. India not only managed to bring down China's share in toy imports, it also brought overall imports down and improved exports too. The data makes it clearer. In FY19, we imported $304 million worth of toys which came down to $65 million in FY24, a decline of 27% CAGR. In FY19, we exported $109 million worth of toys, and by FY24, it increased to $152 million, an increase of 7% CAGR. We can see that this data on a net basis as well. Net basis means exports minus imports, commonly called as trade deficit if imports are higher than exports, and trade surplus if exports are higher than imports. India had a trade deficit in toys in FY19 of $195 million. By FY24, we had turned the tables and achieved a trade surplus of $87 million. This shift has been quite remarkable. The government has also implemented quality standards as mentioned before. Let us see how did that impact the industry. Firstly, the authorities seized over 40,000 toys between 2021 and 2023 according to the government's response in Lok Sabha in 2023. Secondly, because of such strict actions, the quality of toys have got better. In 2019, hardly 33% toys passed the quality test, but as of 2023, that has increased to 85%. This again is remarkable as not only India restricted imports, but it also improved its quality, and that has benefited our exports as mentioned just a while ago. The overall impetus has been a positive for the entire industry. Some big players in industry have started investing more and make more and better quality toys in India. For instance, Fun School India has doubled its manufacturing capacity. Then, the educational and learning toys brand Smartivity planned to raise its capacity by a staggering 70% in FY25. Having understood the toy sector, its problems and government policies, and actions by industry players, it is time to understand the opportunities within the industry. For that, we need to look at the industry from a bird's eye view. Let's see. Firstly, let us understand some dynamics of the toy industry which we haven't yet covered so far. There are many kinds of toys: dolls, action figures, electronic, board games, etc. Each category needs a different kind of specialization for its production. KPMG's report on toys industry analyzes these categories based on three different aspects, namely import dependency, that means how much India is dependent on imports. Second is labor intensity, that means how much labor intensive that category is, which can also be read as how more or less capital intensive that category is. And third, skill intensity, that tells us how high or low skill job is it to manufacture these toys within India. According to the report, toys like dolls, board games, puzzles, and electronic ones are medium labor intensity products, while toys for babies, action figures, model vehicles, arts and crafts related toys are high labor intensity ones. That means, for example, amount of labor required to make an electronic toy is lower than making a model vehicle. Or we can also say that electronic toys are capital intensive toys. Some of these toys, including electronic, are highly import dependent, and most electronic toys are also skill dependent, along with action figures, plush toys, and dolls. The data matches with all the points that we have discussed earlier. For example, we discussed how India has just started making electronic toys and it will take a few years to become expert in it. That tells us that they are import dependent, capital intensive, and high skill. Now, after understanding these, especially if you can see this chart on the video version of the podcast, India's challenges under each category becomes clearer. But there itself lies an opportunity. Making category-wise policies, be it about more investments, scaling, or skilling, can yield better results rather than blanket policies. For example, excelling in labor intensive category, which is also import dependent, may help in making more toys in India and also more job creation. So that's what we can learn from this report. Secondly, it is important for any business to know what the customers are liking. So let's see what's trending these days. STEM toys, a short for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, have gained immense traction post COVID. Those are educational toys which help children learn in a better manner. They also offer engaging experiences for both children as well as parents. Then comes the traditional or heritage toys, such as Fun School's Chhota Bheem range. There is an increasing shift towards buying premium toys too. Aspirational middle class parents want the best for their children and are willing to take that leap for them. The trend has caught everyone's attention in the industry, so much so that Nitin Chabra, CEO of Ace Turtle, a toy company, said that the expensive toys are seeing better sales than the cheaper counterparts. Companies like Mekashi Toys have pivoted towards producing kids' electric cars in premium ranges between 10,000 and 20,000 rupees. Secondly, there are immense opportunities due to geopolitics. Companies around the world are seeking for China plus one options, and India is a strong contender. Retail giants like IKEA and Walmart have begun sourcing toys from India. Brands such as Hasbro, Ferrero, Spin Master, Hornby Hobbies, and IMC Toys are collaborating with Indian contract manufacturers. For example, Fun School India secured rights from global brand Asmodee in June 2022 to manufacture and distribute the popular board game Abalone. Similarly, in December 2023, Aquas partnered with Stone Sapphire to produce Disney licensed pullback cars at its Koppal facilities. China Plus One will help in improving our exports too. Currently, around 48% of total toys are exported to US. Its share was just 11% in FY11. Although US is a key market, recent reciprocal tariffs by United States President Donald Trump might impact the toys exports. But similar to China Plus One, we can also look for different markets where we can export our toys. The data shows that there are tremendous opportunities. For example, from FY20 to FY24, among major trading partners, we can see that toys exports have grown sharply in Japan by 47% CAGR, Ireland by 38%, Australia by 29%, Colombia by 24%, and Mexico by 22% CAGR. Now, some final thoughts. Recently, in 2025 budget, the government announced that it will announce a separate scheme for the toy sector in line with the Production Linked Incentive or PLI scheme. As of now, there are no such announcements made. Hopefully, there will be very soon. For India's toy industry to truly scale up, MSMEs and startups must lead the charge by investing not just through money and machines, but also technology and skills. A proper focus on innovation, sustainability, and scale will help them attract consumers and producers around the world. India's toy industry is at a pivotal juncture with clusters, collaboration, and comprehensive plans supported by central and state governments, and all hoping for a brighter future. Yes, there are issues as we have discussed, but the proactive policies and enthusiasm among industry players have been a big positive for the industry. I hope that we have provided enough information about toy sector overall. We would be happy to know your thoughts about today's episode. And yes, if you like what we are doing, then spread the word. Follow the podcast on your favorite app and share it with everyone. You can also read our newsletter and blog, which has loads of information about MSMEs. Links are there in the description. Thank you.
Dear listeners, since last 3 years, you have been listening to MSME Talk audio podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, etc. Now it is available in video format on YouTube as well. Also, I would like to tell that more information and updates are not covered on podcast for which you have to ensure that you subscribe our newsletter and follow us on social media. Links are given in description.